Staying on the sporting theme then, let's get the details here, shall we?
Yes, arguably the most famous father and son motorcycle racers are back together again this week. Ron Haslam is a former world champion and his son Leon is aiming to be the same.
Yes, they're from Derbyshire, and Leon has flown back to the region to prepare for the only British round of the World Superbike Championship tomorrow.
He might not be competing anymore, but Ron Haslam, who has 3 world titles to his name, still knows how to put a bike through its paces. The former racer now runs a race school at Donington Park. But soon his students will be stepping aside as the World Superbike Championship comes to the track. It's the sole UK round, and among the riders, Ron's son, Leon. Very soon it will be you riding here at Donington Park, your home track if you like. Pretty excited at the prospect?
Yeah, for me, 16 miles down the road, it's one of them places that you can actually feel the atmosphere, and when everyone's kind of shouting for you, it definitely spurs you on that little bit more.
But what's it like for Dad? Once the racer, now the parent, watching from the sidelines.
Very nervous. You know, I always used to wonder what they meant when I was riding, and my parents says, you know, you don't know what it's like, you know, watching you. And I kept thinking, well, I'm on the bike, you know. Now I know, now I know everything that can happen, and it's only got to be half a second late, and I think there's something wrong, you know. I think I probably know too much about racing, so it worries you even more.
As for the track, our camera here on board Ron's bike gives a feel for what it's like to charge round Donington Park at over 150 miles an hour. It's a track the Haslams, who live in Derbyshire, love. You've not had perhaps all the results you'd want at the start of this season. How good would it feel to kick it off with a podium finish here at Donington Park?
Yeah, for me, yeah, we're still early in the season. You know, it's only a few rounds into the championship, so to start it at Donington, my home round, with a bit of home support, you know, for me, I can't think of anything better.
The action runs from the 23rd to the 25th of May. Leon, like his dad before him, will do all he can to get on the podium.
Those motorcycle shots make you feel a bit queasy, don't they?
Shut your eyes, you'll be fine. On tomorrow's programme, we'll be looking ahead to Burton's big League 2 playoff final, as well as Derby against QPR at Wembley at the weekend, of course. A big bank holiday weekend of sport. We'll look ahead on tomorrow's show.
Now, Hereford wants to attract big businesses to the city, some connected to the secret world of security with the SAS based in the county. Security expertise is just one of its selling points. Should we be saying that?
You shouldn't be saying that, really, but we'll gloss over it. To attract new firms, it's just rebuilt part of the city on the site of the old cattle market. The new cattle market has moved out of town and is proving more popular than ever with farmers, as our business correspondent Mark Goff reports.
87, 87, 87, 87, 20 now.
Bidding was brisk at the weekly auction at Hereford Livestock Market, and it's not surprising because more and more farmers are coming from further and further afield to sell their animals here.
Cattle numbers are up by about 60%, the sheep by about 20%, but it is all down to the facility that it's a lot easier to get at.
More than 300,000 animals are sold through the market. This was built 3 years ago. It replaced this in the city centre. It was old. Getting in and out with the animals was at times chaotic. Farmers seem to like the new place.
The old market was very congested and not fit for purpose, but this one is very fit for the 21st century and things moving forward, and there's a lot of stock coming here from a big area.
You're not queuing up for hours on end to get into the middle of the city. This is simple. There's better parking, better unloading. This is a 21st century facility, whereas that was built in the 1950s in the middle of the town.
So, what has Hereford done with the old market? £90 million of private money has turned it into this, a new shopping centre, and there'll be 800 new homes. Hereford wants to be known as a city famous for food and for security expertise. The SAS are down the road after all. City planners believe businesses will relocate here if they know the employees they want to attract are attracted by the city.
One of the things that attracts business, new business to the county, is the fact that there is a social environment, a retail environment that suits the high spenders of the businesses that we are trying to attract here. And that then brings in the better wages, which is so desperately needed in Hereford. Hereford is the bottom of the league in terms of wage level in the United Kingdom, and that is definite in the last month. So we need to change our way. This is the start of it, and we have a long way to go, but we are going to build the local economy and attract new business from all over the world to come to Hereford. It's part of a big plan to grow Herefordshire, in being able to put Herefordshire on a map as a sustainable authority in its own right, so that we can afford to look after the adults and the children and build the local economy.
Old Hereford is getting a new start. Mark Goff, ITV News, Hereford.
Now, Matt here is from Herefordshire, so you're quite excited, aren't you? What's the best thing about it, really quickly?
Well, the city, the development has been fantastic, but also the food. There's a food festival that I do, end of the month, end of June. Look it up, in Shobden. Now they're the weather. Here's Joe.
What's in store for today? ITV Local Weather, sponsored by CenterParcs.
Thank you and good evening. Over the next couple of days into the bank holiday weekend, it is going to continue to be rather unsettled. We've seen some really heavy downpours across the region today, and I'm afraid tomorrow is looking quite similar. Very showery. Saturday and Sunday are also looking pretty unsettled. At the moment, things are quite muggy, and tomorrow again, temperatures will creep up to the high teens. However, a fresher feel to things will tend to push in from Saturday. Back to the details then, and for tomorrow, from the south we're expecting heavy showers to move up across the country, starting with a batch of showery rain tonight, followed by some heavy scattered and thundery downpours during tomorrow. In the meantime, this evening, very gradually for a time, we'll see a brief respite as the showers die away, but I'm afraid during the early hours of the morning, more rain moving up from the south. Temperature-wise, generally on the mild side, however, further north up towards the Peak District, perhaps down to around 7 or 8 degrees under clear skies initially. On to tomorrow, it's a showery start to the day. There will be some sunshine here and there in the West Midlands, and it's going to feel quite warm, fairly muggy actually, 16 or 17 Celsius. If you catch a heavy downpour into the afternoon, there will be some surface water and spray on the roads, so take care.
ITV Local Weather, sponsored by CenterParcs.
Let's get a reminder of tonight's top stories here at ITV News Central before we go this evening. Hundreds of people lined the streets of Leicester as a mark of respect for an RAF officer killed in a helicopter crash in Afghanistan last month. Flight Lieutenant Rakesh Chauhan grew up in Birmingham. A funeral cortege passed through the Golden Mile, where many businesses remain closed for the morning.
The family of a man killed by an out-of-hours German doctor have lost the fight to have him extradited to the UK. David Gray died in 2008 after being given an overdose of painkillers by Dr. Daniel Ubani.
And 6 out of 10 motorists have admitted they drive too close to vehicles in front of them. The Highways Agency and police are urging people to leave at least a 2-second gap between vehicles, and more than that in bad weather.
Well, that's all we've got time for tonight. For live updates, though, throughout the evening, just check out our website, itv.com/central. From me, from Matt, and from the rest of the team. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.